Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be going through how to make brake shoes. Most of your braking on a Streetluge is done through your feet, so eventually your soles are going to wear through. So I use a replaceable rubber sole on the underside of mine. I use rubber because there's a lot more grip with one of these and it'll slow you down a lot quicker. But also it lasts a lot longer than standard soles, because standard soles on shoes aren't designed to be dragged along the floor at 60 miles an hour. So they tend to use like a neoprene foam or like urethane, things like that, which don't really grip and don't last very long. And also I have it replaceable, so in between race heats I can actually change it over very quickly if my shoes wear through. I used to use just glue and rubber, but the problem is with that is it might not stick. And also overnight, if you're trying to do it in between racing, it doesn't work very well. You're trying to like clean it up on the side of a road and then you're trying to glue it and you're trying to park your car on top of it and it slips and it all goes to shit, basically. So using hook and loop means that I can just slap it on there and rip it off as and when I need to. The secret of this is not actually ripping it off too many times, so put it on there and just leave it on there until you need to replace it. Let's head on out into the workshop and I'll show you how to make these luge shoes. First thing you need to do with your luge shoes is get rid of the current tread on the bottom of it, as this doesn't hold very well with the glue. You need a nice smooth clean surface area to glue down the loop side of the hook and loop. The best way to get rid of all the existing tread on the shoe is to run it over a belt sander for a few minutes. Or you could take them out riding for a day and get rid of the majority of the tread and then finish it up on the belt sander. The rubber side of the sole also needs roughing up before gluing. Now I do my own brand of soles called R-soles, and these actually come pre-scrubbed in, so you don't need to worry about this bit, but if you're using another type of rubber, then I definitely recommend roughing it up before gluing. This part tends to get overlooked sometimes. Roughing it up for your hook and loop tape. Now you can usually get it with its own self-adhesive, but I found that over long periods of time this doesn't work very well. Another thing to look out for is what type of hook and loop you're using. For this I'm using industrial grade hook and loop, and you can tell that by the hooks are arranged in rows and they come up and out at the top of the hook. And also the loop side is a non-pilling material, so it will last a lot longer. The best glue to use is EvoStick's Impact Adhesive, and it also comes with this handy notch spreader. Now what you want to do is you want to get it all over both the sole of the shoe, the hook and loop, and the rubber sole. Try and get it all done at the same time if you can, as this will help later on. What you want to do is also get right to the edges of the shoe and of the hook and loop, as these are the areas where it's most likely to come apart. The glue needs to be left so it's no longer tacky. As you can see here, when I put my finger on the glue surface and lift it up again, glue sticks to it. So you need to leave it a little bit longer, so that when you put your finger on it and you lift it off, it's no longer tacky, there's no more glue coming up. And you need to do this for both the surfaces that are being glued. I then push down the loop side onto the sole of the shoe. This is quite easy to do. You just spread it all over, press it down well, and just make sure the edges have got good pressure on and there's no air inside of it. Then do the same for the rubber side of the sole. I do something slightly different. I also put it into a vac bag. This gives it consistent pressure over the whole of the sole and also make sure there's no air in between the glue layer. After leaving the glue to set for around about 24 hours, I use a very sharp Stanley knife blade to cut off the excess loop on the underside of the sole. To further reinforce the loop side onto the sole of the shoe, I go around the edges with a staple gun and fire in around about a dozen staples. What this does, this helps for when the sole of the shoe is being ripped off. The most dangerous part of this whole build is cutting the rubber. So to start off with, I put the sole onto the shoe and then go round with the Stanley knife and mark out where I'm going to cut. I then remove the sole off the shoe and then either using a Stanley knife blade or a safer option is using a bandsaw to actually cut out the sole of the shape. And there you have it, that is your luge shoes completed. Now what I do recommend to do is to use them as your everyday shoes for a couple of weeks. And just go out walking in them, take them across the mud, walk into some horrible sand, get them a bit wet, and just make sure that the glue doesn't come off and the Velcro stays in place. It's just something that I personally prefer to do, just so that I know that they're not going to fail when I'm out riding. And also with the bottom of the sole of the shoe, I try and round this bit off a little bit more. So I just tend to put it back on the belt sander and just clean it up. If you need any help at all with your shoe build, please drop me a message. I'd love to help you out. Also, if you check out my website, streetluge.co.uk, and under the R-soles brand, you'll find that 11cm wide hook and loop, as well as 5mm and 10mm thick rubber. And that also comes pre-scrubbed in, so you don't have to rough it up on the belt sander beforehand. Thanks again for watching this video, and I hope your build goes well. Please hit like and also subscribe to my channel to watch out for the next Streetluge video.